Now, as the war in Ukraine rages on, the country still struggles with its manpower problem against Russia's invasion. The Ukrainian army doesn't release numbers for security reasons, but an estimated 28,000 volunteers join each month. Some within the mobilization age of 25 to 60 are still trickling in. Now, Kyiv has resisted pressure to lower the age of enlistment, but is encouraging those below the age of 25 to volunteer. Those facing desertion or absence without leave charges also make up a fair chunk of recruits. 3.5 years into the war, with only vague promises of a peace deal, TW's Nimisha Jaiswal reports now on how Ukraine is trying to bridge that gap.
First-person view or FPV drones have become second nature for Patch. But he still receives regular training for new models.
I've been doing it for 2 years, since I joined the service. I like it. It's my favourite thing to do. Most of all, I like to hit the enemy.
Patch was 18 when he joined the army. He ran away from home for 2 months before he convinced his family to let him serve. The youngest in the unit, he says he's not treated any differently. In fact, he's seen as an asset.
He learns very quickly, thanks to the fact that he joined young. He was only 18 at the time. He was very, very quick, with an easy hand at the controls. He picked it up instantly. He progressed 3 times faster than the rest of us.
That speed comes especially handy with drones, a defining feature of this war, and a crucial resource for Ukraine to fight back against Russia's outsized manpower.
There are new people joining, but we still are less than Russians because they are just they're just bigger country with bigger population. That I believe that if we try to outnumber them, it's no chance. We try to answer with higher quality, so we have higher quality drones and higher precision.
And a quick learning curve sharpens that advantage.
The Ukrainian government is actively trying to attract those under 25 to sign up. Ads like the one behind me outline just one of the many financial incentives, yet those between 18 and 24 make up only a small fraction of new recruits.
But brigades are ready to take in fresh recruits of all ages. Ads like these are ubiquitous across Ukraine. Some offer thrill and adventure. Others simply say, "We're here to live," trying to reassure future soldiers that they're not just being sent to their deaths. Patch's brigade hands out information to passers-by every day. They say they see it as a business, selling the social benefits and good leadership of their brigade and matching new recruits with roles that fit their civilian skill set. Peace talks are seen as a distraction.
It always deals a heavy blow to morale, to motivation. There are people who are ready to join the army, but when they think that there will be some kind of victory tomorrow and everything will stop, the war will end, they change their minds.
Still, recruits are showing up, especially to join the more popular brigades. Some are looking to transfer here. Others are facing desertion or absence without leave charges, which will be dropped if they rejoin. A few here are under 25, some without their family's blessing. Most expect to serve a long time.
Even if there's a truce, a freeze, they are still Russians. They can attack again anyway. Frankly speaking, we must stay and build up our combat capability.
I expect that the war will last as long as it lasts, and then I'll have to defend the country for as long as it takes, maybe 5-10 years. Maybe it will end tomorrow. I can't say for sure, but I'm ready for anything.
Back at the 40th, no one believes their work will end anytime soon. But on being coaxed to imagine a life in peacetime, Taper admits he'd like to return to his comfortable job as a software engineer. Stas would like to go back to bartending, maybe open his own place with his wife. Patch, though, has given up his fascination with cars. He says he'll stay on and train new recruits to fly drones.
And we can get more from Frank Ledwidge. He's a senior lecturer in strategic studies at Portsmouth University and a former UK military intelligence officer. Good to see you, Frank. Thanks for coming onto the show. Ukraine's manpower problem has been an Achilles heel almost since the war's start in 2022. How severe is it really today?
Well, good morning. As you hint there, it's the most serious problem the Ukrainians have. And as you heard on the report, the Russians don't have that problem. They don't rely on conscripts. They rely on paying people lots of money. And that's something the Ukrainians haven't done. So what the Ukrainians rely on is essentially mobilized conscripts. Volunteers are thin on the ground. The army itself is about 700,000 strong. It takes many thousands of casualties every month. And you see there, that 28,000 figure of recruits every month seems quite high. But many of those there will be replacing casualties. The general feeling, I think, in Ukraine, and probably pick that up, is that recruitment is a huge challenge. And replacing those losses from desertion, from casualty, even from evasion, is very, very challenging indeed, and will remain so. I don't think the situation, by the way, is critical, but it is quite serious, and it's the biggest challenge they've got.
OK, so it's a huge challenge. So how much man and woman power can Ukraine still mobilise, particularly by lowering the conscription age?
The problem they have there is that the age cadre that isn't being conscripted now, which is 18 to 25, is very small. It's a small echelon of people because of the very depressed economic circumstances early in this century, which I remember very well. So there aren't many people. That, to answer your question directly, is probably fewer than 1 million, but you can take out of those very many who have left the country. Illegally up to now, by the way, but there are very many outside, people on exemptions, people who are hiding, people who are unfit. So we're looking at probably a figure of around 2/3 of that available in that age cadre. As for others, however, let's not forget, if you were going to volunteer, notwithstanding what was in the report, you would have volunteered by now. And that's why throughout Ukraine, whether on a bus, a train, or on the street, there are, let's say, recruiting teams, others might call them press gangs, who are checking, are you on the list? Have you volunteered? Have you been conscripted? Are you draft dodging? So it's a major issue throughout Ukraine. The answer to your question directly is there are probably a few 100,000 young men available for conscription. Women aren't conscripted. About 5% of the force, by the way, is female. Very few of them deployed in combat roles, just a few thousand. But nonetheless, it's a huge problem, this recruitment. Absolutely central, as I've said.
Military analyst Frank Ledwidge. We'll have to leave it there. Thanks so much, Frank.
Thank you very much.